I am Malcolm Underhill, solicitor at IBB Solicitors. I specialise in acting for survivors of child sexual abuse. With me today is Keeley Taverner, a psychotherapist from Key for Change. And what I'm interested in hearing from you is looking at the future, because when I meet and I act for individuals who have been abused and I get to know them over a period of time, my sense is that for many years for them, they've been in a rather dark place and they cannot see a brighter future. And I suppose, are you able to give people hope that actually, that with the right support, that they don't need to carry around, you know, that past on their shoulders so that it continues to influence the rest of their lives? Is there a real possibility that actually they can, to a significant degree, leave it behind, not forget it because it's never going to be forgotten, but leave it behind so they can sort of plan their lives for the future without having, say, this past dominate all that they do?
Yeah, I think there is something about acceptance, as well as the challenge of hopelessness and where that can take us. We know that hopelessness and suicide are often closely interlinked. And I think when we've bottled up pain and our suffering and we don't speak about it, I think that is also a recipe for hopelessness. And so there is a freedom, obviously speaking with yourself, you know, taking the steps to get support in that regard and from the legal perspective. But therapeutically, people are able to move on and it doesn't have to blot their future, but it is about getting support and getting help and being able to speak about, free themselves, and also understanding that it's not their fault. I think that is one of the most problematic aspects of abuse, is the self-blame that happens, that goes on secretly for years. And it's through relationship, through trust, that can shift.
I mean, the fact, as you're indicating, that there is real hope and possibilities. And I suppose the good news of today is that whereas even 10 years ago, certainly 20 years ago, that these things wouldn't have been talked about. Certainly individuals rarely would have had the courage to talk about it. Now they can, and they're going to be able to meet with people who are empathetic and prepared to support. And therefore, the hope is, isn't it, people speaking to people like you, that they really can sort of, you know, that their life doesn't continue to be, won't have to be dictated by what went on. They can steer a new course for themselves and leave that past behind them. So, I mean, it is really good news. I mean, do you think that, you know, that with more and more people coming forward and having the confidence, that in turn will persuade other individuals to talk a little bit more? Most
definitely. I think you see that now with men coming out as well about the abuse that they've experienced. The recent case with the coach from the footballing industry, you know, seeing men come together to stand up, to talk about what they've experienced is incredibly inspirational, and I think has helped other men to come forward. That people are no longer choosing to be mute about the abuse that has happened to them. And I think that actually at times people can use that to help others, which also gives them a sense of empowerment as well, that actually I can give back and help other people to who have gone through the same thing, as well as choosing not to, but finding a new way to experience life.
I mean, certainly, I mean, I've certainly found acting for individuals from a same institution, and you mentioned football, and I act for those who have been abused when they were youngsters at top clubs, and them coming to me and knowing that there are others around them that were in a similar position, and that together, albeit never meeting each other, but together talking about this is having a positive effect. Clearly for future generations, but for themselves too, that they are now being heard, listened to, and that others, particularly the big organisations, want to listen and learn and make those changes in the future. So, I mean, there is some good news out there. I mean, it's clearly every time that someone comes to me or comes to you, you know, we hear some terrible stories, but the fact is that there is hope and there is good news, and it's, you know, we just both need to continue to work hard to just make their lives a lot better as best as we can. So, but for the moment, Keeley, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.